Hey friends, it is hot as shit in Wyoming, so please bear with the extra noise from the fans. But what I want to talk about was feelings of emasculation due to chronic injury. I was on Reddit earlier in a great group that I go to for chronic pain issues, and a young cat posted about feeling emasculated because of his chronic injury, and that hit me because outside of when the doctor first told me that I would never be well again, the hardest part was a grocery trip where I went shopping, and my mom she put me off at the front door and was gonna come in later, and a little kid running around hit my bad leg, and I hit the ground and could not get back up, and I was down there for what felt like 2 hours, may have been 5 minutes, but I was begging for help from anybody, and people just person after person just passed, and that was a low point for me that I still remember. That and other things, such as there's this joke when people say, when you're young and you fall over, people laugh. You're old. When you fall over, people are worried. And it's funny because it's true. Getting that sympathetic look from somebody is like a punch in the gut to somebody who's coming to terms with being disabled. And the first thing I had to do, and I give credit to my therapist and my friends in the support groups, but I had to change my mindset. I was brought up the whole time a man's job is to work. And if you get an injury, you shake it off, you walk it off, you work it off. Well, I got hit with something I couldn't walk off, literally. And so instead of changing my mindset, I fell into depression and self hate. And like I said before in the last video on chronic pain, I used to judge people that were younger and disabled, like, oh, well, they're smiling or they're walking around doing this. Well, I see them at church, so they can't be hurt that bad. And I decried them all as fakers. And at first, when I ended up on the other side of that, instead of giving myself grace, I turned that hatred inward. Those thoughts I felt about the other people, I felt about myself. And and nearly drove me to a very, very bad conclusion. And so I had to, like I said, reframe what my definition of being a man is. And I also had to find other ways to stimulate my mind and to accomplish things. The main thing that helped me was, I'm a musician. And when I was working, music was a hobby. Music was something I did for fun. And when I got injured and couldn't find a really job around here due to a combination of my injury mixed with, you know, lack of skills that would get me into a job where I'm not moving. I had to subsist on a disability income, which, as you know, if you're disabled, isn't a lot. And so I turned my music hobby into something I took more seriously. And I started practicing my instruments again, and I started, working gigs. And I could only work about 2 to 3 times a month with my pain, but getting out there and working and playing music and getting, earning my own money, however little it might have been, gave me that self confidence and that sense of accomplishment. And then in 2020, when COVID hit, I went through that process again. It's like, okay, well, I can't play gigs. So now what am I going to do? And I turned my focus to my new hobby of comic book collecting. I've been collecting action figures for about previous 5 6 years, and I just happened to pop into a store that was selling comic books. I'm like, okay, I like this. I'm getting my mind right. Reading more. And the more you do something like reading, no matter what it is, it really stimulates your mind, and you can put that into other parts of your life. And then, after a while, that seemed to, it became such a normal part of my life. It wasn't too exciting anymore, so I started lifting weights at home. I bought dumbbells a couple years ago that just sat around. I was like, oh, I'm going to get in shape and I'm going to do this. And I went too hard and hurt myself and lost motivation. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to start lifting at home again. And I'm not going to do it to look like this or to do this. What are my goals? My goals were to get my arms big like they were in high school, get some shoulders going again, and get some confidence going. And I started May before last. I settled into a routine of 6 days a week that I vary each day depending on pain level. And I bought piece after piece of equipment. Now I have a decent dumbbell set. And through GoFundMe, that I'll post a link to in the comments, I've actually this week ordered a bench, which I'm so excited for, and some more dumbbells. And I'm still wanting to expand my equipment because I've gotten stronger, got my arms back. I'm no Hulk, but I'm no weakling. And that's part of where I got my masculinity back, as well as reframing what masculinity is. And really, what support is. I mean, you can be supportive through words, through love, through listening. Um, a side note here. I remember I thought that my dad was one of the most intelligent men in the world because I felt like he always knew what to say. And then I realized, after looking back on our conversations, he never said anything. He just listened intently and let you work shit out yourself. And so, being a provider, being a blessing, is much more than monetary giving or providing a meal. Or, it's about doing what you can to bless others. And I'm not going to sit here and say it's easy. I'm not going to sit here and say you're going to feel better tomorrow. But if you put your mind to something, first off, put your mind to something that you can do and can take pride in. And second off, look outside yourself to make somebody else smile in a day. If you can do that, you have no reason to be emasculated. So I'm going to sign off. Like I said, I'm going to put my GoFundMe for new workout equipment in the comments down below. And if you're disabled and this is something that you vibe with, share your experience. I don't know everything. I hardly know anything. I'm just a rambling fat man. So share your experience and how you got through this. And I hope you guys have a blessed day.